Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. As you may know, I was gone for about 3 months because of some replay mod issues, but now we got that all fixed, so I'm gonna go over some things that I built off camera. I promise part 2 of the airport is coming, it's just not quite ready yet, so I'm going to go over some other things while I give myself another week to get the airport ready. Between March and June, I have built a hospital, expanded the Metro Mover line, and built something also that's super duper crazy, so stick around to the end of the video to figure out what it is. Without further ado, let's get into the tour. So we are now here at the new hospital that did not get recorded for anything, unfortunately. So we're gonna do a quick little fly around of the hospital and I'll show you a bit of the interior. Nothing is detailed on the inside, but I do have all of the rooms and like little signs inside of those rooms describing what is going to be in there, because hospitals have a lot of different laboratories and different sections that all play a part. And also know that the hospital is not done. I only have the main 2 buildings complete. If you look over here, we have 2 more buildings that need to be done. I believe this is the children's hospital and then another parking garage for that. And then all of this space back here, we also have to fill in with something. I don't know what, maybe a cancer center. I am not too familiar with the medical field, so I kind of stopped building the hospital because not really my area of expertise. But let's go take a look at the inside and see what I did get laid out right. So at our front main entrance, you come in and we got a nice little lobby going on here. There'll be like some sort of, what is this, main reception, big fancy. And then over here, I think we have a coffee shop, market, you know, just like a big open lobby area. But if we go upstairs, I think this is where we actually have some non-emergency surgery going on. And the big old emergency sign that marks our emergency room, and there's just a big maze of stuff everywhere. Like I'm lost. Like, what do we got? We got blood storage. Oh, that's lovely. Looks like some sort of emergency room area. Looks like that's what all of this probably is. Staff only. Yeah, I'm lost already. Buffet area. But yeah, as you can see, everything is laid out with signs. Even if we go into some random floor, yeah, ICU pod number 5, like it looks like we're in the intensive care unit now, and there's a bunch of different pods everywhere with nurse stations and different separate rooms, isolation rooms. Yeah, I had to do some extensive research on all of this because I didn't know what any of this is. Extra critical ICU. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. But yeah, everything connects with elevators and stairs. Yeah, too bad I wasn't able to record this because it was a really cool build, but replay mod was acting up and I have now discovered Flashback mod, so thank God for that. But yeah, even up here on the roof we got a little helipad. Just got an awesome view of the city, not gonna lie. But imagine the helicopter pulling in here and then they rush the person who's in critical care to this little room which has the elevator to bring them down to probably the intensive care unit on floor 5, I think it was. And also the other building has a helipad as well, with a sort of ramp going down into their elevator. So my story with this hospital is this building right here was the original hospital. Then the city grew too large for this one building to handle, so they built a larger building right next to it to handle the volume of patients that were coming through. And then it's still not built yet, but this is going to be a whole separate children's hospital with their own emergency room. This is where labor and delivery is going to be, so if you're giving birth, this is where you'll give birth at the children's hospital, and they'll have their own parking lot connected with a bridge. So that is pretty much it for the emergency room. Oh yeah, over here is where the ambulances would pull up. They would pull up right here through this driveway, and I believe this is the triage area, yep, which is where the really gross, nasty injuries come in, people with limbs hanging out by one thread. I don't want to be in that room. Let's get out of there. But that just about wraps up the hospital. Let's go move on to our next project that I did in those couple months off camera. I had to disable shaders because we are in the middle of downtown and my computer almost blew up trying to render distant horizons and shaders and record all at the same time. So I had to kill shaders, unfortunately. But the second thing I worked on off camera for those couple months was I completely overhauled the Metro mover line. So I did make a huge plan for this, and so it actually like goes somewhere and has a system. So this is that plan that I made. You can see that there is now separate lines, and then some of them are Metro mover and some of them are light rail. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. But yeah, the fact that it has an actual system and a plan and will actually like go somewhere and serve people and bring them places that they actually need to go is pretty cool. Whereas before the system was kind of just like a hodgepodge. Oh, I think I'll build a piece of track here and a piece of track here, and nothing actually went anywhere. That problem has now been solved. So this is where it all started. We are on the part where the red and the green line kind of come together. This is kind of a big hub or a station. We're at 5th and Bank Street, which is pretty much smack dab in the middle of downtown. So this is a station that's connected to a big old building, and I believe that is the Metro Mover office right above us. But yeah, it's connected to a big old open mall kind of. And the cool thing about Metro Mover, it is completely free. You do not need any sort of Metro card or any sort of fare to take the Metro Mover, the People Mover. However, the light rail, the 2 light rail lines that you'll see in a little bit, will require a Metro line card of some sort, and it's pretty cheap. It'll only be like $1.50 depending where you're going. But yeah, as you can see, this is now a whole system. I believe the only thing I have left to do is to debug stick all of these walls, which is going to take a while. But we have stations just about everywhere. If it's more than a 2-minute walk, I basically have a station there. And I got them all to support, and so they're not going to fall over. Doing it to every station took forever, but it had to be done. I do believe the next station down here is kind of one of our hubs. So this is where the red, the green, and the blue all come together. So this is a pretty massive station, and there is a crap ton of signage everywhere. So that way, no matter which line you want to transfer to, it's not too confusing to get there. So if you're on the green line, oh, the red line's right over there. If you're on the red line, oh, the blue line's up there. And well, I mean, you'll figure out that the green line's here too. So this is kind of the Metro Mover level. If we go down a level, elevator blue line only, or we could just take the stairs. So this is where we would have to scan our Metro card to proceed, because now we're in the light rail station, and the light rail is slightly bigger than the Metro Mover, so the tracks are wider and we're higher up off of the tracks. But yeah, you could enter the Metro Mover from here if you wanted to. You'd have to scan your Metro card to get out and then go up, or I believe if we come over here to this end of the platform, we can exit to the street completely by coming down this escalator. You scan your Metro card, but we're just gonna hop the fence, and it would let you out to the street down here. And if you wanted to completely just bypass the blue line, I believe, yes, we come up here, we cross the road, and there's a really ghetto little tower and a bridge that come all the way up here. It has an elevator if you don't feel like taking all those stairs, because I don't blame you. And there's a bridge that comes across the highway to just straight to the Metro Mover if you don't want to get off at the blue line and have to scan your Metro card. It could come down this way. But yeah, this is one of those big hubs where all of the lines come together. So I did want to show this, and then I will show the other big hub on the other side of downtown, where I believe the green, blue, and purple lines come together. So let's go show you that hub real quick. And here we are on the other side of downtown. This is the other hub that we have for the light rail / metro mover. So again, it's kind of in the middle of the highway, but there was really nowhere else to put it. So this elevated line right here is our purple line, which I believe is the Port Connect. So if we look at the map here, it pretty much goes all the way from here, goes across that brand new bridge, which I'll show you in a little bit, and goes all the way to the airport. So that is what the Port Connect is. It connects the port to the city. So that is what this level is, and then we have it walled off from the Metro Mover because you have to, this is free, this is paid. So if you wanted to go from one to the other, you got to scan your Metro card, unfortunately, sorry. But yeah, this is the beach line, this is the green line, this is the Government Hill station because our government area is just right over here. So that is pretty much it for the top level of the station. We have an elevator dedicated for the Metro Mover. I believe it goes just all the way straight downstairs. But we'll get to the bottom layer in a minute. We're gonna start at the top and work our way down of the big station. So let's say we're staying on the metro or the light rail side of things. You come down, this is the blue line, and since we were already part of the Port Connect system, we don't have to scan our Metro card to hop over to the island loop because they're both light rail. I'm pretty sure the only Metro Mover line is the green one. So there's 2 light rail and 1 Metro Mover line, whereas the other hub had 2 Metro Mover lines and 1 light rail. But yeah, down here is the blue loop, the island loop. It's basically what follows. Oh wow, that map is not loading. But basically the island loop follows this highway right here. Makes a loop around the island, hence the name Island Loop. Very creative, I know. And now, if we're gonna go down to the exit, we come down this escalator. We have an ad. More elevators. I believe this is a staff area. Yep. You scan your Metro card. This is where the Metro Mover elevator came up to. So if you were, and then here we have an area for some retail. We are actually underneath the highway right now. So I squeezed in a couple retail shops. And yeah, this is pretty much the station for that. Oh, and we have some restrooms. And out on the street, there is some signage out here, the Government Hill Station. You got your green, blue, and purple here. So I do want to show off that new little bridge that I built. So this is the purple line. I wanted to make another really cool cable-stayed bridge, because I didn't want to do just a boring bridge, and it had to have some height to it so boats could fit underneath. And I'd say this turned out pretty well. This didn't take very long to make. It's not a very big suspension bridge or cable-stayed bridge compared to the other one. But I don't know, I'd still say this whole bridge took maybe like 2-3 hours or so. But overall, not too bad. The other bridge over there took probably like 2 days. But yeah, I really love this view of the city with this new light rail bridge. And when it gets across, it still stays a bridge because it is pretty tall. I mean, that's probably 70 feet up in the air if we converted this 1-to-1. But then it finally kind of drops down to a more manageable level. Comes across here and eventually meets up with the hill. We're going to have a station right here serving all of the neighborhoods in this area. And then eventually you'll already see the tracks kind of go on and it goes off to the airport where we're going to have a station right here, which meets up with the Metro Mover line at the airport that you guys saw in the last episode. So yeah, it's all a connected system now. It actually makes sense. It actually goes places that people need it to go. So that was one of the big projects I wanted to work on. And it's kind of hard to record all of these lines because I started there and ended way over there, and I don't know, loading all those chunks on camera is not the most fun thing to do. So it would have been a hard video to make anyway if I was able to record it at the time. But I want to show you guys my final project that I have done in the last 3 months. It's a fairly big project. I'm a little sad I didn't get it on camera because It is one of the biggest projects the city will probably ever have. So let's go take a look at project number 3. The final project is I built a stadium. I deeply apologize for building this entire thing off camera. There will never be a time lapse for this, unfortunately. So we're going to do the next best thing and kind of do a walkthrough of the stadium after it's built. I guess better late than never. So the exterior is probably about 80% done. The only thing left to do is like plant some trees here. That's pretty much it. The exterior is done. I am doing interior for this stadium. The interior is maybe a third of the way done, if that, maybe a quarter. But I will show off what is done on the interior of this build, but it ain't much. But going over the exterior, we have a giant parking garage, because you need some parking, and I didn't have room for a giant surface lot like you see in typical American stadiums, so we stacked it up into a parking garage. We also had room for a little bit of an amphitheater. I had to squeeze in a place to have more live events, because this is going to be more than just a soccer stadium. It's going to be a multi-purpose stadium. So we built a second area for events, and it has an area back here for loading and unloading, and I believe, yeah, it goes all the way over here. So all of the back of house areas are working and legit, and up in here is where I would be working the show. But yeah, cool little amphitheater area here for some other shows, and we just got a nice little plaza, some fountains. Right here we have a station from the red line, so that way it's connected up to the metro system. And yeah, I just tried to do lots of greenery, lots of different levels and stairs and ramps, to try and keep it interesting, you know, not all on one level. Over here we have the all-access entrance, so this is where the tour buses for the players would pull up and they would park here, or if there was a concert that night, this is where the tour buses for the band would park, this, that, the other, or if you are lucky and you have an all-access pass, this is where you would get to go into the building at. Some of the few areas that have interior are here, but we will go over that in a little bit. But one of the few back of house areas that has interior is through this door. Right next to that we have a rideshare drop-off area. This is drop-off only, so it's just a short little loop. This is not a pickup zone. The pickup zone, I believe, is in the parking garage that way. And we just have some more plaza areas. This is going to be a restaurant right here, right next to gate 4. And this is kind of the backside. This is, I believe, Millennium Street. But on the backside here is where you have the loading docks, employee parking. This is kind of just an access road. And this is where the broadcast trucks would park, and then an employee entrance is going to go right here. And over here is gate number 3, some more plaza area, yada yada yada, and this is the other rideshare lot. This one is both pickup and drop off. So if you were an Uber or a Lyft driver, you would pull in here. This would be, I don't have any signs made yet, but this is going to be loading zone 1, and then you keep driving, loading zone 2, and loading zone 3. Hopefully that's enough space for everybody to find their ride, and then all of that traffic gets flushed out into the street over here. So that is the rideshare situation, and that is pretty much all of the surrounding areas. So let's now go head into the stadium. So we're gonna go inside of gate 2 because we're gonna go in as if we're general admission first, and then we'll take a look at the VIP areas. So you'll come in here, and this is our main concourse. There's not really anything done here yet. If we go this way, there's a few things done. So this is a bar, and on the other side of that is the VIP area, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. So yeah, this is an entrance for the VIP area, so if you wanted to leave the VIP suites and come join the main crowd, you could. Right here is gate 1. I guess this is kind of technically the main entrance to the entire place. Over here we have a first aid station in case something bad happens, and I believe this is connected to a back of house. And we got a back of house for staff over there, but we got, I don't know what this is, some sort of concession stand, hot dogs, I don't know. And then a bathroom and a grab and go little station. And that is pretty much all I have on the main concourse. I believe the rest of everything is empty. But as you can see, the stadium is set up for football, European football. I decided to do football because, or European football, because if we wanted to do American football, the field is actually smaller for American football, so an American football field would fit in here, whereas if I had built the stadium around American football, if I wanted to do soccer, it would have been really hard, but going the other way around is very easy. And you may notice a lot of my seats are missing. Well, they're not exactly missing. They're all folded up right here. So right now I have the bleachers in the folded up configuration, so that way a stage could go here, and then you could do all of your truss rigging from the steel beams here. All of this would have been built with rigging in mind, so it's rated for all those loads. So you could have a stage set up there, or when you're set up for a game, all of these bleachers would slide right back out to right here, and they would just be seats again. So I definitely wanted to implement that into the stadium, multi-purpose. It's not just for soccer games. And also that view of the skyline in here is just incredible. Imagine if you're sitting like over here in the corner. Oh, so good. But yeah, I was messing around with some pyrotechnics a little bit. That's what these are. But this right here is where the locker rooms are. So the visitor locker room and the home locker room. Not exactly done yet, but I do believe the visitor locker room is done. So this is kind of an example of what those are gonna look like. Just a bunch of lockers. And then you got a bathroom with some showers attached to them. And I believe through here's like your head coach, your assistant coach. And then they got like a dining room with some televisions to live stream what's happening out there, but place for them to eat. And it's all connected to the back hallway here. We have the visitor trainer's office, which is basically just a big medical room in case you sprain an ankle or something. And then we have the home trainer's office, which is just the same thing, but for the home team. Here is that tunnel that goes out to the field. And I believe down this way is kind of where I stopped working on interior. I believe here's going to be a broadcast area with like a green screen and stuff for those right off the field interviews and stuff. If we keep going this way, there's more things that are done. Kind of got an ice machine, just random little boiler units and electrical equipment everywhere. This is a kitchen, so all the food that gets served in the locker rooms would theoretically, I guess, get cooked here or the back of house kitchen. Here we have security, and yeah, here is that all access entrance that I showed you guys earlier. So you'd come in, go through the metal detectors, and yeah, this is kind of all of what back of house is gonna look like. We got like HVAC in the ceiling, like it's very kind of gritty back here. What's over here? Overflow lounge. I guess just, yeah, random overflow lounges. And then the field left entrance, lawn care storage is all going to be through here. Yeah, we got the big old John Deere lawnmowers chilling back here, all the weed whackers and fertilizer and stuff for maintaining the grass. And I guess down in here would be more storage for stuff, because you can't really put anything else under here. So yeah, that's pretty much all the interior I have for the stadium, although we will check out the upper level suites. I do have the interior for those done. But yeah, the stadium I think is turning out really cool. It's one of the cooler builds in the city. In looking at the map, this is how big it is on the map, and this is where we are in the city. We're pretty much right next to the convention center. But originally, I think I had this whole section laid out for the stadium, and I ended up only using this much of that land. So I ended up developing 3 more city blocks of what was originally going to be stadium. So this ended up being smaller than originally planned. It is also worth mentioning that I modeled this off of a real stadium. I modeled this off of Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City. It's pretty much right next to the Kansas City Motor Speedway, or Speedway, I don't exactly know what it's called, but it's located right next to there. It's a fairly small soccer stadium. I believe the real life version of this only seats 18,500, which is a lot, but compared to some other stadiums, that's pretty medium sized. Because yeah, Matador is not a very big island. As you can see, the whole thing is maybe 15 square miles. So I didn't need a very humongous stadium for the island. So I figured 18,000 seats is probably enough. But that's enough of me yapping. Let's go check out those VIP suites up here on the top. So I don't have a sign for it yet, but that sign right there is going to say VIP entrance. So if you're a VIP, there would be some sort of bouncer or person here scanning your ID to get in. But we are now basically on the back side of that bar that was on the concourse earlier. And you have a cool little lounge right here to chill and watch the game if you want to. But who's watching the game down here when you have your own private suite upstairs? So we're just going to take the elevator, I believe up 1 floor. So this is the suite level 2. Let me switch my game mode to creative. So we're going to go inside of suite number 206. Because it's right here. They're all pretty much the same, and they're all really small because we are building in 1-to-1. But you got a little kitchen area, a sink, some cabinets, a fridge, a little place to sit. These are supposed to be bar stools. And then what's cool about these windows is they're all trapdoors, so you can open them all up and have the breeze come in and all the noises, or if you want to seal this off, you can. If it's raining or if it's really cold out or something. And then you come out this door, you have a little section of seating just for you, and it's walled off from everyone else. And great view, by the way. And yeah, that is the suite. You also get your own TV, so you can watch the broadcast as well if you want to sit in here and not go out there. Again, all of the suites are pretty much the same. I believe maybe the ones down here on the end, yeah, they're like maybe 1 block wider, I think. I don't know, but they're all pretty much the same until you get to the end. Down here we have the executive suite. So if you are a large company or a large group and you want to rent out a really big space, you can rent out the executive suite. You get dibs on a bunch of free drinks, a little kitchen area. You get your own private bar with your own private bartender, seating galore, and awesome views of the city. You also get your own private buffet and your own private seating area with amazing views again of this end zone. That end zone, who really cares, but this end zone got great views of. And there's quite a few seats there. Could probably seat, I don't know, probably 30, 40 people out here. There's high boys over here. And then inside you could probably seat another 50, 100 people. So really big, large party space. And I believe through this door is the bathrooms. I didn't do the bathrooms in here, but that's where they would be. That is pretty much it for the executive suite. Let's go up another floor because there's another really cool suite above us. We're gonna take the back of house way. So this is kind of the back of house area. This is like a walk-in cooler to serve the kitchen for the suites. If we go up another floor, here we have the club suite, which is like even more fancy than the one right below us. So as you can see, it's a lot more moody in here. It's a lot more fancy. You still get your own private bar, but up here they're serving a lot more upscale drinks. And yeah, it's pretty much just another party space that you can rent out, but this one is a lot more fancy, a lot more laid back. I believe the bathrooms are located here on this one. And you get a really fancy dining room with this one. So here you're actually getting a sit-down meal served by a Michelin star chef and all of that stuff. So this is like the next level fancy suite. This is the fanciest VIP experience money can buy at this stadium. And then the seats you would get are right here, a lot smaller, but this is tending to a little bit smaller of a group, and you still have awesome views. So yeah, that right here is the club suite, and then right below that is the executive suite. And then we have another level of normal suites going all the way down. They're pretty much copy and paste from the ones down below. However, if we go all the way to the end here, this is where the sports announcers are located. So let's actually go in there real quick because it's really cool. If I can get in. So yeah, here it says, do not enter, authorized personnel only. This is the press room. We are totally authorized, so we are going to enter. So yeah, this is where the sports announcers would be sitting, and here's all of their audio equipment. They're getting broadcast feeds coming in here, coming out of here. Remember earlier I mentioned there would be broadcast trucks parked over there. So they're the ones that are handling the broadcast for the networks. They're the ones handling, I don't exactly know how it works because I don't work in broadcast, but you got trucks out there, and then you have this main room up here. And a whole bunch of video signal going in and out everywhere. So that's what this room does. So I definitely wanted to include that. And that is pretty much all of the interior I have done for this. Oh, I forgot about this meet and greet area. So we do have this meet and greet area for the suite people. So you would enter in right there, go through the line, and you would get a photo with all of your favorite players, this, that, the other. This blue background could be swapped out for something cool, I don't know, in Photoshop or something. And that is the meet and greet area. And then yeah, on the same area but right below, we just have another bar, private little lounge for the people who have a suite. And if we go down one more floor, we are on the main concourse level where you can leave the VIP area and go join the normies in GA. And we will leave out of the main entrance. But yeah, I'll do one last fly around of the stadium here. But this whole project, I think, took the entire month of April, pretty much, or maybe it was May. I don't know, it took me about a solid month and a half of on and off working to get the stadium done. And I'm very proud of it. Definitely my best stadium I've ever built, and it is my first soccer stadium. I've never built a soccer stadium before. Definitely the hardest part was the roof. The roof definitely sucked because none of it is straight, and it angles up slightly. It ends up being like 25 blocks taller than when it started. So the roof was definitely the hardest part. But other than that, the stadium was pretty simple to make. It's not very hard to make stadiums, in my opinion. So yeah, that is all I have built in the last 3 months while I took that short little break.